All right, what's good? So, I'm I'm at the movies right now. I'm about to see Just Mercy with Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan. Last minute thing. Wasn't planning on coming, but since I got a few minutes before I go in, I wanted to do this Bad Boys review. I went to see it last Friday. Uh, Bad Boys is like legit next to Fast and the Furious. Probably my favorite movie franchise of all time. Definitely out of all the buddy cop films, Bad Boys is my favorite. Then it's Rush Hour. Rush Hour a little funnier, but Bad Boy was always more serious, had more action to me. But with that being said, leading up to it, I was like, bruh, I don't know about this, man. 17 years later, since Bad Boys 2, I love Bad Boys 2. That's my favorite one. And I'm like, yo, first of all, you gotta get me to care about this. You gotta get me to be interested. Like, it's called Bad Boys. These dudes is like grandfather aged at this point. But as soon as the first trailer dropped, I was in. I was like, yo, this feels like Bad Boys. They still got the feel. Michael Bay is not directing this time around, which is a good thing. But they still got that Michael Bay essence that you like about Michael Bay. The shots, it's not so much of the action. But with Michael Bay not directing, it's focused more on the story. And that's the best part of the movie. The characters, like, we're already invested in Mike, played by Will Smith, and Marcus, played by Martin. And it's like in this movie, first of all, in this movie, it feels like there's stakes for once. Like in the Bad Boys movies, you've never felt like there was stakes. You never felt like anyone was in danger. And this, first of all, this review not gonna be spoiled. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody because I know some people still haven't seen it. I just want to give you an idea of what the movie is about without spoiling anything for you. But something definitely happens within like the first 10 minutes that shocked me. Like, I didn't see it coming, but I knew what the outcome would be. I'm like, okay, cool. And then when I saw where they were going with it, it produced one of the best scenes with Will Smith and Martin in the series together. Just it seemed like you were watching two brothers who knew each other for a long time care about one another. The other one's like, look, I need you to ride with me on this. And the other one's like, look, I'm trying to save you. Leave it the fuck alone. Let it go. Move on. I'm not doing this for you. I'm not going out there and allowing you to get yourself killed. Even though he knows he's gonna fucking do it anyway. He just doesn't want to be a part of it. But yeah, so they're going up against this woman who just got out of fucking prison and her son. And the son is just fucking going around taking motherfuckers out one by one, sniping. And Mike is a part of that. Mike is on the hit list. Apparently it's very personal. We don't know right away why it's personal. Not gonna lie, I figured out why it was personal, like, early on. But, I didn't, I'll get to that. But this movie is hilarious, bro. Like, Martin came out of retirement for this movie as far as acting. Martin still has it. Martin is still hilarious, bro. The one-liners, his timing, everything. This is probably the second funniest movie in the series behind Bad Boys 2. A lot of callbacks to some of the old films. Not a lot, just a few. But if you're a fan of the series, you'll, recognize it. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Like, you go into it thinking, these dudes is old. Mike Lowery is the ladies' man trying to be this young dude, but they play off of that. They address the fact that, hey, you motherfuckers are old. Let this boy shit go. You're grown men. Move on. Obviously, Marcus is still trying to fucking retire, and Mike Lowery is still trying to be Mike Lowery. They play on the fact that, like, look, we're old now. You're Mike Lowery. Guess what? Nobody gives a fuck. But I definitely love that. It didn't take itself too serious, but the jokes were hilarious. I definitely plan on seeing it again. I was going to do the review after I saw it the second time, but I didn't want the possibility of the second viewing ruining my experience. But the Ammo team, it's Vanessa Hudgens. There's two other guys. One of the guys played on Riverdale. He was in that movie with Yara Shahidi. But I went into it, I'm like, oh God, this new team, like, they probably gonna be unimportant. They're gonna make a joke out of them. I love the Ammo team. They were funny. They were involved. They were on the team. They got into the action. They really got into the action. They were a part of the group. They were a part of the story. And it's like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Bad Boys 4 moving forward, considering the money it made. I definitely think they should be in Bad Boys 4. Make them a part of the team. Make it a whole group. I mean, you can still focus on Marcus and Mike while still having the Ammo team there. It's backup, the comedy, everything. I think it's a story with them. They weren't just like pushed to the side, just there in the background. They were definitely important to the story. It was a surprise. I really loved them. But as we get to the climax, there's a twist that I said I saw coming, and I really could have done without it, but it kind of added to the story, so it is what it is. I get it. But it just produced like the first act, the second act, and then the third act. I loved the first and second act. I was in. Third act comes in. The final shootout scene is cool, but that twist ruined it for me. Like, not completely, but it took me back. I'm like, all right. I mean, they having the shootout and they bring this twist up, and it's like we just gonna forget everything that happened prior, and this twist is just about to take over. Like, yeah, I'm trying to explain it without spoiling it, and I'm really not good at that shit. But when you see the movie, you'll understand. It's like, okay, twist happens, see where you're going with it, but we just gonna forget everything that happened prior to this. And then, like, after the movie's over, these motherfuckers have the nerve to throw in a goddamn title scene, like this fucking Marvel or something. Like, I wish they didn't do that because they're doing it to set up a Bad Boys 4, but I wish they would have done it like, okay, here's Bad Boys 4, this is the opening scene. Like, don't give us a goddamn credit scene like this is some kind of fucking superhero franchise. Excuse me. But in the goddamn end credit scene was, that shit blew me. That shit almost made me take this movie down a rating, but I'm not gonna do that. But I'm trying to make this as short as possible. I tried to cram everything into this video without spoiling. But all in all, I give Bad Boys for Life a B plus, bro. Definitely a B plus. I will be saying it again. I doubt the second viewing experience is going to take it down for me, but if you're a fan of the franchise, you have to see this movie. You should definitely see it in the theater. I always love going to packed theaters. The experience is much better. But definitely see this movie as soon as possible. I would say you don't want it spoiled for you, but the twist in the movie, it ain't that fucking great. But yeah, you don't want to have it spoiled for you. So definitely Bad Boys for Life, B plus, must see. I will see Bad Boys 4 whether I want it or not. And I'm gonna catch y'all next time. I'm definitely gonna review Just Mercy too, depending on how I feel, but we'll see.